6:30. All right, it's my first time, so you guys kind of bear with me and help me out wherever you can. I'll call to order of the regular meeting of the Tracy City Council at 6:30 p.m. Monday, February 24th, 2020. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Invocation, there's none. Approval of the minutes from February 10th, 2020 and February 13th, 2020.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Do we vote on that too?
Yep.
Okay.
Teagues,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Kutel.
Aye. The minutes from February 10th, 2020 and February 13th, 2020 are approved. Approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to that?
Move to approve as written. Second.
Approval of the agenda is approved. Any conflict of interest? Hearing none. Public comments. Is there any public comment? Anyone? Okay, none. No public hearing. Report. Department head. Jeff?
Okay, I got a couple things on my list that we'll go over. You've got the rest of it, the two-pager. Couple things going on. Last month and a half or so, working with multiple developers on housing projects with USDA, Minnesota Housing Authority, and local developers. Still working on that. The 106 3rd Street, the old Asian market, as it's called, is all the paperwork is signed, and there'll be a closing this. I'm hoping this week. So if not, early next week. So that they've started getting some things cleaned up in there, so there'll be a sold sign in that building, and we'll have another building that was saved on Main Street up here. Working with a couple different business owners on different projects, including thinking outside the box on some of these vacant buildings that we do have here in town. I did go to that public finance seminar, 2.5 days with Ellers in early February, since the last time we talked. So I learned a lot about the tax increment finance district and tax abatement, more than I knew before, for sure. Probably more. It probably was a little bit overwhelming, 2.5 days worth. And then last thing I got on this list here is I finished up with that first ever that career fair we had out here at the Tracy High School. I was very nervous about that. Never put something like that together before. I've organized banquets and parties and meetings and everything else, but nothing like that. And I guess I got a lot of comments, and things went pretty well. I'm sure you'll get a lot of comments through the city for the next, whatever. So I do believe it went very well. We got very good feedback from Minnesota West, Southeast Votech, and then also Minnesota State that was there. They all felt that it's something that we should do on a yearly basis. So, anybody got any questions on any of that stuff there? Okay, I do have one thing I'd like to bring up real quick. And I'd sent out an email, and I apologize, and I kind of dropped the ball on this with everything that was going on the last month and a half. And it was a note that Shane Daniels had gotten from Southwest Initiative Foundation. And I had sent it out, and I don't remember who I all sent it out to, but it was asking for a donation. Southwest Initiative Foundation would be Southwest Minnesota's version of the USDA, and they do a lot of good things. They've handled a couple loans they've given. I'll just give you one for instance. Where she cuts the hair up here, or the pet dog treat. I'm sorry. And but anyway, they helped with the loan through that, and kind of walked her through everything that she needed. So they've done a lot of good things for here in the city. When I got the email, or when Shane shared the email with me, it just didn't make sense on what they were asking for. But then after talking to a couple of you, I know that this was something that the city of Tracy has given to Southwest Initiative Foundation in the past. And I'm sorry, I dropped the ball. I didn't know that we had been doing that on a year-to-year basis. So I'd like to relook at that. I can bring it up as an agenda item in 2 weeks if we want, and we can talk about it then, or I don't know, how do you want me to handle it from here? It was $1,000 this past few years.
Yeah, it's been steady at 1,000.
And I think it's in the budget, I mean.
If it was moved over and I didn't look, Jerry, but if it was moved over, excuse me, as a, because a lot of things this year were moved, just, what it was last year is this year. The foundation does a great job, and it's not like they're getting a lot of money from any other places besides the cities where they help. And it is, and I think that's a good description of them, is they are Southwest Minnesota's, the 19 counties of Southwest Minnesota's, they are they're our USDA. So I'd like to be able to give them an email or call, and they'd give me an invoice and everything, and, but where do we want to go with it from there?
Just to simplify it, I'd make a motion that we do our annual contribution to the Southwest Initiative Fund of $1,000.
I'd second that, because they are very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I could have added that to the agenda, but we need to vote on that then.
We vote on that?
Yep. Teigs.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Howe.
Aye.
I'll get thank you for that. I'll get a invoice from them, and then I'll bring it to you, and then I'll have it for you just as the invoice. I might even just send it out to everybody so you all see it.
Yeah, we want to stay on their good side.
Yeah. No, that's
Let them know
true.
it's coming, that we just kind of.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. You're out.
If you have any questions on the activity report that I gave you, I'll entertain those first. Other than that, it's pretty standard. The only thing I have to bring up is that I'm going to have to spend some money this week. We had a couple pagers that are in dire need of being replaced. I have a bid from Alpha Wireless for 2 Monitor 6s and a spare battery. And that bid's for $977.60. And then we had 3 of these radios replaced by FEMA after the flood, and I still have 3 of the older style ones. One of the older style ones is on loan to the hospital at this time to replace one that was stolen out there, that they're borrowing at this time. And then I have one myself that I utilize, but has some issues with the shoulder mic apparatus, and now the one that the officer's carrying on duty right now is having a volume control issue and needs to be replaced. So we're going to have to update that radio to this style of radio. And the bid I have for that is $4,040.53, plus there's a $100 programming charge for the 3 units. So
That typical?
yeah. So
And there's plenty in your equipment replacement fund for.
yep. And these have been planned expenses. The pagers have been planned for probably the last 3 years, and I just haven't replaced them because they weren't broke. So if they weren't broke, why fix them? So now they're broke. They need fixing. So the last time I sent out my radio, because I toyed with sending the older radio out to be repaired, I tried that with mine, and it was like an $890 bill. I had to send it down to Texas for 3 weeks. So do I really want to put that much money into something that's already 8 years old? So I think now's the time to replace it.
Makes sense.
Get them.
So other than that, I don't have anything for you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Everything.
Thank you. Val and Tam are not here, so do we still go over that too, or are there any questions on?
Shouldn't be. They're in there.
All right, so utility rate update?
So Abdu sent us their proposed rate changes to the fee schedule for 2020. The sewer rates will stay the same, except for they're going to remove the sewer rate unit for the 750 because we don't have any 750s left. The water rate base charge, which is on, I believe, the 3rd page of the resolution. They did adjust the rates, the percentages for the commercial ones were figured at the same percentage as the residential ones. So the water rate base charge for 10 to 19 potential users went from $62.50 to $70. The one below that went from 75 to 84. The next one went from 37.50 to 42. And then the one for 6 to 9 users went from 50 to 56. The single users went from 25 to 28. And then the 10 to 19 users went from 82.50 to 92.40. And the 2 to 5 potential users went from 47.50 to 53.20. And the 6 to 9 users, the one below that is $65, went to $72.80. Then the next page, it went from $30 to $33.60, and from $100 to $112. Those are the base rates. Changes for that. And then the residential units, the tiers, the 1, 2, and 3 tiers will change as well. So those are the proposed changes to the fee schedule for 2020. There will be more to come, obviously, when Abdu gets us more information on the tier changes that they wanted to move forward with, but these are just the rates that we should have changed in January.
So if we adopt this tonight, they're not gonna go into effect for,
This will go into effect right away. Well, yes, but they won't see the change for 2 months because we bill 2 months behind. So they won't see the change for a couple months, but it'll go into effect right away.
that's what we needed to do, so. I would, make a motion to approve resolution 2020-9.
Second that.
Peterson.
Can we have a discussion?
Yes.
I guess I'm even more confused now than I was when I was first coming down here. Because when we had our meeting 2 weeks ago, I just want full disclosure because I've been feeling I misunderstood and I might have misrepresented to the public that the rates, how they were going to go up, was going to be like a total of $1 a month for a residential person. That would be a little under $13 a month.
For the usage, that's correct,
Yeah.
But
but not for the base rates.
that's what I want the discussion about, because to go from, say, $25, which is your normal,
Yep.
what people were paying for a base rate was 25, to go up to 28.
Yep. And 90% of the people, that is going to be the case.
It's a $3 upcharge.
It'll only go up, it's just more the commercial people that have like more than 100 users, they're going to see a larger increase.
Okay, and I don't want to say that's fine, but I understand that, but I don't want a residential person that was watching this 2 weeks ago, and even a couple people that I talked to, when I said it's gonna go up $13 a year, your
Yep.
bill will go up. Well, actually,
Like 15 or 16 now.
yeah.
For the year. Yep, yep.
But then, no, because it's going up $3 a month to just the base rate.
Yep.
And if
Just
you
have
times
a
that by
meeting,
12, that's
sorry.
36 bucks all.
And we never
right
really
there.
discussed the base rate when we was talking about that survey. We were, and I'll take the blame, I was more concerned with, are we where we need to be on the actual usage rate?
Usage, yeah.
So this
But this resolution includes that base rate.
includes the base rate change, because that was part of an earlier discussion on the tiered program that we never acted on. So that tiered program is in an effort to force the consumer to conserve, because the less water they use, the less money they're gonna be spending type thing, so.
But we're talking, it's gonna affect a residential person 50 bucks a month, or a year more,
A year, yeah.
versus 13. And someone on a fixed income, that's a big difference, and that's where I don't want people that were listening or anything thinking,
You're
we're not
probably gonna
being
see about
transparent here.
$5 or $6 a month increase in your water bill.
Yeah, well, according to this, I'm looking at the thing that we were
Yeah.
given 2 weeks ago, when I went and studied it a little bit better. It's like $4.20, and that's why they're saying it's for an annual increase of 50. Someone on a fixed income, $50
I know,
is a lot. Plus, if we're talking this year, we're looking at adjusting to try not to be 2 months ahead or behind. So we're looking at now asking them to pay another month catch up. So now that means their bill, they're gonna have to be paying even more per month. I'm just wondering, I'll be honest, I'm rethinking what we should do for increases. I agree we need to do an increase, and this is just my discussion here
yeah.
and everything. I don't mean to put a stop on this, but I sit here and I think of, okay, $50 a year, plus if their bill is usually, say, $80 a month or whatever, they have to pay an extra $80 this year to get it caught up.
Yeah.
That,
But that's easier than having a large assessment put on because the money's not there when we need it.
no, that's why I'm saying I think
Yeah.
we need to do the increases, and I agree with needing to do increases. I just don't know if we need to do this first one so big. You know, we're increasing $3 a month base fee, plus we're doing the rate change.
But that's
Do we
been
need to do both of them so much?
But that's been the problem in town for 20 years. Nobody's ever wanted to add 15 cents or 30 cents or whatever. It's like with replacing all the streets. We gotta bite the bullet.
Oh, yeah, but it's just a matter of how much of the bullet do we bite off at once?
So what would you think about changing?
Well, I guess I sat here and I was throwing out a couple different things, and as I was looking at this, that if we change the base fee instead of from 25 to 28, if we just try to do it more incremental, like even just halfway, where we went 26.50 and then next year we went to the 28, and still do the rate increases where we would be getting there. I mean, because if you look at the graph, because the water fund, we're way behind.
But
We
that-
don't have money to
That
sustain.
base fee increase is built in to get us where we need to be down the road. It's a little bit of a chunk this time around, but if you're looking what it could be if you try and do like what you're saying, because if we get further behind, sooner or later, there's gonna be that big. That's why I've been advocating raising the rates as often as I have, and we're closer than I thought we'd be. I thought this jump would be a lot bigger than where we're at.
Well, and
But
that's
it's,
why I'm not saying not to make the jump, but instead of doing the jump to 28 now, to do the jump to 28 in an additional year is all.
but in an additional year, if you look at your chart, those rates are gonna have to be increased again.
Yeah, it would
And then
go
the year
to
after that is
28,
again.
it would go to 28.84 the next
Right.
year. And we're saying go to 28. You just redo that math where you catch up within a few years. I mean, this is done out for 5 years. It's done out to 2024. And by 2024, our fund was gonna look pretty good. I'm trying to think of where that,
There's on maintenance and brakes, and that's the unknown with it.
like, you know, here is, you know, our cash reserve, and if we do the increases in the years, we're gonna be getting up there where our water fund is better, because right now, we do need to do something, because we are
Right.
way behind in our water fund. We don't have any reserves there.
Nope.
I'm just wondering if we need to take such a big leap in the first year.
So there is still gonna be an increase next year,
Yeah,
even with
there's
the
gonna be a
There's a
increase
scheduled
every year.
increase for the next 5.
Five.
Okay,
Yeah, that there'll be an increase, and I'm not saying not to do an increase, but because we're already asking, because we want to change and get it caught up to where we're only the 1 month behind, I think that's good business practice. I think we need to do that. I think people will be happier with that. But they have to get caught up that extra, you know, $80, $90 a month. Well, so you're adding that on top of this increase. So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
my discussion, I guess.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, we've been upside down on this stuff just too long. It's $3 a month to, and that's just to have the meter in the house. That's not having anything run through it. Isn't terrible. I mean, I've been watching my water bill go up, and you can't just look at your total on that because of all the other things that are on there, but we've got fees on there that, you know, that should be or could be, once we get everything else healthy, could be taken off. And that's something that needs to be looked at, and I didn't see any of that in the numbers when I was looking through the rate study, but there's money out there that they've been, I think it was $3 a month that we were putting in to, like in the homeowner insurance. So if they had a water line break and it was between the main and the curb stop, the city paid for it, and if it was behind, well then, the last time on that, because we hadn't used it that much, luckily, and we finally got to include the curb stop. So, you know, I don't see getting to the point where you actually get it to replace up to the house, but if we get everything healthy, we should be able to take that $3 off of there and then give them a break. But we gotta get healthy first, so.
I guess I'm just saying if we expand it out, even if we extended it out 1 year, I think we'd be much better off than we are now anyways. But I think it'd be less of a load in one initial year for our homeowners. We have a lot of people in town that live on fixed incomes.
Good.
And I'm thinking if we can spread it out, it might be to our citizens' benefit and ours in the long run.
So when would you propose catching it up to where the plan says?
Well, you know, if I was a math major, I'd be able to do this a lot quicker in my head. You know, in 2021, it was projected to go up to 28.84.
Right.
So if we went to 28 that year, or even if we went, because that would be the midway. And then they have 29.71, so I'm thinking it's about 3% each year.
Yes,
What I read
yeah,
Yep.
in one of the summaries that they recommended the 3%. You know, that then at 29.71, we look at going to the 30 or whatever, because then the next year's 30.60. So we'd be caught up before the end of this 5 years. It's just not such a big jump of $3 and then, you know, under $1 after that. I think we could get caught up within a year or two.
So you're saying that
You
we
could
should
get
do-
caught up to your schedule, but the revenue that you did not glean right away wouldn't be there.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, so that's the downside of it, is that would throw the rest of your numbers off on the backside of things. Yeah, definitely, I know where you're coming from. It's just, to me, it's one of them lose-lose situations. It has to be done, or we get farther behind. And
And we're in the same spot.
yeah, you'd be right back where we started from.
I don't think we'll be back where we started from, because we more or less have committed that we're going to do an annual increase, where in the past there hasn't been the annual increases. Yes, we would lose the revenue from this year, that if we go to the 26.50 versus the 28, we lose that $1.50 on each of the base fees. I understand we lose that. But, you know, we did increase them this past year in 2019 at the beginning of the year or whatever, when we increased them when we didn't have a study.
Right.
You know, I think we're still going to be well off if we continue to do the annual increases. Just not maybe the very exact year, but maybe it'll take another year or two.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second on the table.
Approving the resolution.
Yep.
It is a tough decision,
Yep.
and, you know, I totally understand where you're coming from, Jerry, because, you know, we do have a lot of people that are on, you know, low income on base, so, you know, it could be a big,
Yeah, big hit for 'em. Go ahead and vote.
go to vote.
Okay. Tony,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Jerry Jones,
No.
you tell.
Aye, it's tough, but, you know, it's been, you know, we trust, you know, our, the people that they did this, so. With that, resolution 2029 fee schedule utility rate changes passed. Petition request and communication, approve aquatic center wage scale.
That change at all?
I think it changed a little bit.
think
Peggy
it
put
went-
that
I think
together.
it went up 1%.
Yeah,
The numbers look pretty familiar.
Went up 1%. Starting wage.
And they're hourly, not guaranteed.
I'd make a motion to approve the aquatic center wage scale.
Second?
First and second. Any discussion? All right, Diane.
Jones,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Teagues,
Aye.
Kutel.
Aye. Approve aquatic center wage scale, passed. Approve Shannon Benson as aquatic center manager for 2020.
I'd make a motion to approve Shannon as the manager.
Second?
Any discussion? She was last year too,
Yep.
right? Okay, so we just have to do this, okay.
Yeah, it's just a formality thing.
I'd, oh, we gotta do the vote.
Oh,
Jones?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Teigs?
Aye.
Tell?
aye. Approve Shannon Benson as Aquatic Center Manager for 2020, approve.
Make a motion for calling a closed meeting at the end of the open meeting to negotiate the administrator contract.
Second it.
Any discussion? Diane?
Teigs?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye. Call for a closed meeting to negotiate administrator contract is approve. Approve gambling permit for St. Mary's, July 9th, 2020.
This is a raffle, I think, for a quilt
Okay.
type of thing.
Yep. I'll make the motion to approve their gambling permit.
Second it.
Discussion. Diane?
Peterson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Teigs?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye. Approve gambling permit for St. Mary's, July 9th, 2020. Approve. Consent calendar.
Motion to approve the municipal accounts payable without Breakthrough Beverage and Sanford Health and the municipal accounts receivable report.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Diane?
Teigs?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye. The municipal accounts payable without Breakthrough Beverage and Sanford Health and municipal accounts receivable are approved. Breakthrough.
Make a motion to approve Breakthrough Beverage.
I'll second it.
First and second, any discussion? Diane?
Peterson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye. Municipal accounts payable Breakthrough Beverage is approved.
Make a
And-
motion to approve anything for Sanford Health.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? None. Diane?
Teigs?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye. Municipal accounts payable to Sanford Health is approved. Any unfinished business? Any mayor and council communications? None. Then we'll go into close.
Make a motion to close the open session.
Second it.
First and second, discussion? None. Diane?
Teigs?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Tell?
Aye.